Hi guys, welcome back to next session. Today we are going to discuss about Euler's multiplicative theorem. This one is very important theorem. Based on this theorem only, we will solve many problems. So first of all, look at the statement. Euler function phi is multiplicative. This is what we are going to prove, right? So look at the proof. For solving this, we have to take m and n be positive integers such that their GCD is 1. That means m and n are relatively prime. So what we have to prove? We have to prove phi of phi m is equal, phi of mn is equal to phi of m into phi of n. So this is what multiplication, right? So arrange the mn integers 1, 2, 3, and so on mn in m rows of n numbers each. So just what we are going to prove, just we are going to arrange the numbers in the up to mth row. So look at the first row. It contains 1, m plus 1, 2m plus 1, 3m plus 1, and so on, n minus 1 into m plus 1. This is what first row. So if I am extending second row, what will happen? You will get 2, m plus 2, 2m plus 2, 3m plus 2, and so on, n minus 1 into m plus 2. Similarly, we can extend for third row, fourth row, fifth row. We have to move up to mth row. Suppose in middle, I would like to take one more row that is called as rth row. So rth row having the terms r, m plus r, 2m plus r, 3m plus r, and so on, n minus 1 into m plus r. Now look at the last row, that is what our mth row. So it contains the elements m, 2m, 3m, 4m, and so on, nm. So why we have to taken the terms like this? Because I'm going to prove whether these numbers mn is uh, multiplicative, right? So that's why I'm framing the functions like this, right? Next one. After framing this function, next, let R be a positive integer which contains less than or equal to m such that GCD of R comma m is greater than 1. So here I'm mentioning R is the positive integer. So positive integer means relatively prime to mn. So actually in our previous so let R be a positive integer. As I said earlier, the GCD of R and M is greater than 1. We will now show that no element of the rth row, no element of rth row in the array is relatively prime to Mn. So let some constant number d is equal to GCD of R comma M. So I don't know the GCD of R and M. That number will be, I am assuming here, d. Then that d will divide R and d will divide M, right? It will implies d divide km plus r. It is nothing but like division algorithm. Already we discussed about this theorem in our unit 3 itself. That same theorem we are extending in the name of km and r. So finally, the as well as d, that d will divide km plus r, some number with m. This means d is a factor of the element in the rth row. Thus, no element in the rth row is relatively prime to m, and hence mn if if GCD of Rm greater than 1. So what is the conclusion here? There is just I am proving there is no element relatively prime to m, hence to mn. So there is no element relatively prime in the final row. That is what the conclusion. In other words, the elements in the array relatively prime to mn comes from the rth row only if GCD of Rm is equal to 1. So initially I have taken, what is the first statement? Let R be a positive integer such that the GCD of Rm greater than 1. Like that I am assuming no. So that my assumption is wrong here. So when it is possible, when it is relatively prime, the rth element, rth row element must having GCD of GCD is 1. Then only it is applicable. Next. So finally, what we are going to prove, no? After taken this, since R is less than M, since R less than M and relatively prime to M, we find there are phi of M such integers are and have phi of M such rows. What is the meaning of phi of M? In our last class itself, I have clearly mentioning about phi of tau, phi of sigma like that. No, that is number of elements. So here, how many number of elements are there in the M? How many number of elements? How many number of rows available in the mth row? Like that, we are having. We are going to find out. Now let us consider the rth row where the GCD of R and M is equal to 1. The elements in the rth row are R, M plus R, 2M plus R, and so on, n minus 1 into M plus R. When they are divided by n, the remainders are 0, 1, 2, and so on. So in rth row, if we are divided by n, we will get the remainders 0, 1, 2, and so on, n minus 1 in some order of phi of n. They are relatively prime to n. So therefore, exactly phi of n elements in the rth row are relatively prime to n and hence to mn. So this is theoretical part only. You just try to understand yourself with the help of any number. You can easily find out, right? Thus, there are phi of m rows containing positive integers relatively prime to mn, and each contain phi of n elements relatively prime to it. Hence, array contains phi of m into phi of n positive integers less than or equal to mn, and it is relatively prime to prime to m. So finally, we are getting phi of mn is equal to phi of m into phi of n. So multiplicative function. Actually, here in our previous slide, we discussed one problem. Find phi of 28. Find tau of 28. In that case, 28 can be written as 7 into 4. Like that, we discussed, this, how we can write that 28 is phi of 28 is equal to phi of 7 into phi of 4, based on this theorem. If you are having any confusions or difficulties on this theorem, you just go through with the problem. Through that, you can easily identify this theorem. So there we are having small number, we can easily finding that, right? Here, I don't know how many numbers are there. It will be any mth row, nth column. In such a case, how we are solving. So the general part only we discussed in this theorem. Now let us discuss one problem based on this. So we'll discuss one problem based on this theorem. Verify the theorem. Summation of d divides n. Phi of d is equal to n for n equal to 28. So this theorem we are going to verify based on this. This is what I said. The positive divisors of 28 are 1, 2, 4, 7, 14, 28. So here phi of d means divisors. So how many divisors we are having? Here we are having 6 divisors. So just we are separately find out this phi of 1 plus phi of 2 plus phi of 4 plus phi of 7 plus phi of 14 plus phi of 28. So why I'm using plus here? Because in my formula itself, they are clearly given summation and they are given phi of d. D indicates divisors. So obviously in our previous class, we discussed about Euler's function. So how we are finding the Euler's function's value? Phi of 1 means 1. Phi of 2 means 1. Even phi of 1 means we won't consider 1 is a prime number. It is maintaining as it is 1. Okay. Phi of 2 means 2 is a prime number. If it is a prime number, we can reduce one value. That's what Euler's functions given in our previous class. No. Look at the phi of 4. Phi of 4 is the composite number. We have to convert composite number composite number into prime factor. So 4 can be written as phi of 2 square. We discussed one formula, that is 2 square into 1 minus 1 by 2. After simplifying, we will get 2 is the answer for phi of 4. Now, another value phi of 7. Since 7 is a prime value, we can write 7 minus 1, answer is 6. Here it is mistake. We will get 7 minus 1 equal to 6. So that is the answer. Next one, phi of 14. So 14 is the composite number. We have to converting that that number into prime number. we can write phi of 2 into 7. As per this rule, we can split up phi of 2 into phi of 7. The value for phi of 2 is equal to 1 and phi of 7 is equal to 6. While we are multiplying, we will get 6 is the answer for phi of 14. And look at the next value, phi of 28. Phi of 28. So for phi of 28, we have to decompose it the value phi of 2 square into 7. Now we can write phi of 2 square into phi of 7. Just apply the formula for phi of 2, that is 2 square into 1 minus 1 by 2. The value for phi of 7 is 6 because it's a prime number. 12 is the answer. So here I am separately finding the 5 values for the given function. After getting the value, you just add up that 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 6 plus 6 plus 12. While I'm adding this value, I will get 28 is the answer. So what is the ultimate aim? We no need to find out the all values. With the help of divisor itself, we can find out we can verify the theorem. So this is what the importance of this theorem. Thank you.